Everybody's talking about Manus AI, and I finally got access. So in this video, I'm going to give you a demo of Manus. We're going to run it through its paces. We're going to see if it can analyze Alex Hormozi's Facebook ad strategy and see if Manus lives up to all of the hype. So if you're watching this video, you already know what Manus AI is. It's a general AI agent that can independently execute complex tasks. So unlike ChatGPT, which is used primarily to generate ideas, Manus can actually take action on those ideas. So let's see what it's all about. So there's a million different use cases for Manus. For this video, I wanted to focus on one specific task to see how well Manus can handle it. And what I'm going to do is I am going to provide it with a link to Alex Hormozi's Meta or Facebook ad library. And I'm going to prompt Manus to see if it can kind of ingest or digest all of the ad content here and come up with some common themes, his messaging strategies, his visual elements. I'm also going to see if it's able to click into the landing pages that Hormozi is promoting here and provide an assessment of the landing pages as well, and then deliver that back to me as some kind of report. So it's going to require Manus to crawl this site, read the ads, click into the ads. I don't know if it's going to be able to watch the videos. To be clear, I have not run this experiment yet. This is kind of a live experiment. We'll see what it does well. We'll see what it doesn't do well. All right, so let's get started. I am going to give Manus a prompt that I have on my clipboard here. So the prompt is, please analyze the Facebook ads associated with Alex Hormozi, accessible via the provided Facebook ad library URL. So let me make sure to include this URL. And you can see this is kind of a longer prompt. We're coming up against the 1,000 characters here. And so I'm going to ask it to summarize key themes, messaging strategies, visual elements, and I don't know if it's going to be able to do this. I'm going to be honest. For each ad, if a landing page link is available, to visit the landing page and evaluate its content and design, assess the consistency between the ad's messaging and the landing page, and analyze how effectively it supports the ad's objections, provide insights into the user experience, the call to action, and the overall design effectiveness. Okay, so imagine that Manus is our competitor Facebook ad analysis, or analyst rather, whose job it is to go out and find the competitors in our space, go find their Facebook ads and report back to us what ads are our competitors running, what's the messaging like, what are the landing pages like. All right, so that's the use case here. We're just going to do it with Hormozi, and I think I'm just going to let this video roll. I will edit and kind of fast forward through, but I'm going to do this live, and we'll see. I'll try to edit this the best that I can, but I think I'm going to leave the recording running, and we'll kind of just go through step by step what Manus is doing. So it's starting out by saying it's going to analyze the ads and the landing pages. It's going to get the themes and the strategies. So let me start by accessing the Facebook ad library link you provided. And I did, before getting started, I double checked that this URL, when I'm signed out of Facebook, it is accessible. So it's accessible in incognito mode. I'm hoping Manus will have access without me having to sign in, but let's see. All right, so it wants to clarify a few details. Are you interested in any specific aspects of the ads? So I don't know if it's going to be able to get ad spend. So let's see. If you are able to get the targeting information and ad spend, though I don't think that is publicly available. So 2, it's asking us for the landing page. Would you like me to focus on any particular elements or technical performance or specific user journey? Focus on the messaging, the conversion tactics, and how the landing page matches with the ad. So let's ask it for a comprehensive report for number 3. And then it's asking about the format. Let's have it structure it by, let's have it structure it by effectiveness. So, because that's going to test Manus's kind of analysis even more. All right. So let's fire off those 4 answers, and then let's see what Manus is going to do here. All right, so it's going to proceed focusing on, so just confirming the prompt and kind of the follow-up questions that it was asking me. And so it's saying that it's initializing the computer. So if we want, we can open this up, and now we can see Manus's browser. All right, so Manus, this is kind of like ChatGPT operator mode where it has access to your browser. So now it's going to spin up a little sandbox here, and we can click into each of these. So that's the browser. This is the sandbox here, and this part about Manus is kind of cool. So what it's doing right now is it's generating its own to-do list. Let me see if I can click back into this. So here's the markdown file, the to-do list. So it's got a list of tasks, and then it's going to come up with everything that it needs to do. So extract the information, create the document for each page with a landing page, visit the landing page. So I didn't have to tell it to do any of this. It's going to come up with this list on its own. All right, now it's saying that it's extracting the detailed information. All right, so here is a markdown file. All right, so it looks like it's taking a look at the first ad, so it's going to give us the ID number, when it started running, the platforms, and the status. Here we've got the ad content, the visual elements, the messaging strategy, and as I suspected, it's not going to be able to give us this targeting and ad spend, but that's okay. And then the landing page URL. Now, I don't know if it's going to be able to click into the landing page and then do the analysis there as well, but let's keep going. So you can also follow along. So you can see it's clicking elements, clicking different elements here. And here's the ad analysis for number 2. So let's go back to this ad analysis for number 2 over here. So it's giving us the same information or similar information on the visual elements, the message. This is kind of cool, the messaging strategy. And again, the landing page URL, I'm not seeing any analysis there yet. Let's let it run for a little longer, and we can always come back and ask if it's able to do that. So now it's doing the third ad. So it's clearly clicking through those first 3 ads. It's able to pull out, the actual content on the Facebook page or the Facebook ads library page over here. All right, and here is the document that it's come up with so far. So we've got the overview, common themes across ads, the core messaging strategies, the visual strategy differentiation. Then it's doing kind of a breakdown of the 4 ads that it looked at. It's going to give us ad format and technical elements, platform distribution here, the ad structure, the launch timing, which is interesting. It's going to do an analysis here of the strengths, the potential weaknesses. All right, now it's doing what I was hoping it would do, and it's going to start to analyze the landing page. Now, this looks to be the home page when, let's see, if you go to some of these links from Facebook, it's not just the homepage. So for example, this is actually one of the landing pages from Alex's ads here. Now, I'm going to give Manus a chance, but right now it's doing the homepage only. Let's see if it grabs the actual landing page of the ads. But it's good that it's able to click into links, and so now we can see it is on the homepage, and let's see what it comes up with. All right, now it's going to spin up a different file here. So you can see it's creating different markdown files for us. This is the landing page analysis of acquisition.com. And so now it's updating its to-do list. Let's go back to that analysis. So, this is a pretty in-depth, and we'll look at all these documents separately later. This is a pretty in-depth analysis of the homepage for acquisition.com. And now what it's going to do, remember I asked in my prompt, is it's going to evaluate the alignment between the Facebook ads and the landing page. And then when we go back to the to-do list, I do like how Manus is just keeping track of everything that it's doing here. So you can see it just checked off, evaluate, add a landing page alignment. And now I think it's going to prepare the report. Now, let's see what happens if we interrupt it. So I'm just going to say, good job, but for the landing pages from the Facebook ads, these look to be the actual landing pages, right? Because it actually only looks like he's advertising two opt-ins here. This one and this one. So it did not get these links. It only is going to the homepage link. So let's see what happens when we interrupt Manus. So he was in the middle of preparing his report on the kind of alignment, and I interrupted him, or it, and it's saying, thank you, you're right. These appear to be the actual destination pages rather than the main homepage. Let me visit these landing pages and update my analysis accordingly. So I did have to intervene there. It did not correctly grab the landing pages from the Facebook ads. So let's see what happens now that it has the correct landing page to analyze. So as a tool overall, this is going to be different, obviously, than something like Gumloop or Lindy, which are automation builders, AI agent builders. You know, I consider Manus more, as it is, a general agent that you can work with. You know, you kind of want to babysit it a little bit just because it might go off track like it did right there. But it's going to be able to generate, and this has not been a long video so far, it's going to be able to generate a very comprehensive analysis of Hormozi's Facebook ads, his landing pages, the messaging, and how it all ties together in a pretty short period of time. All right, so now it's taking a look at the second landing page, which is this personalized roadmap. All right, now it's going to kind of correct the work that it was doing before, right? So it's saying this is the correct landing page analysis. Now it's got the landing page number 1, and this is a very in-depth report here. And here's landing page number 2. So it's going to look at the header and the nav, the hero section, the form section. So it is scraping and reading everything on that page here. And what it's going to do, I think, next is when I asked it to, you know, give me an analysis on the alignment between the Facebook ads and the landing pages. And so we can see this report being generated here again in a markdown file, and we'll see if we can get this into a PDF or a Google Doc to really analyze everything that Manus has produced here. All right, and here we can see it's doing the executive summary, the comprehensive analysis. So I think it's bringing all of these documents together. And you can see all of the documents here that Manus has put together in this task. So I can click into here and look at all of the files. And now these are all documents. Manus can do code and images and all this other stuff. We only asked it for docs here. But this is all of the files that it generated on its own from that single prompt and follow-up prompt that I gave it. We got the to-do list, and then all of these other docs about his ads, his correct landing pages. Here's the landing page analysis, the ad landing page alignment analysis. Here is the analysis of the 3 specific ads, right? So you can click in and see all of the files. And now Manus is saying, thank you for the opportunity, and it's done. It's been 15 to 20 minutes or so. It's saying, share Manus's creation as an interactive website. We could do that. Let me look into the actual final document. All right, so here is the document, and it did format it for us, which is nice. And let's see if we can open this up a little bit. All right, so here is the AI agent report from Manus on Hormozi's Facebook ads and landing pages. We've got our executive summary. We've got the analysis by effectiveness, which is what we asked for. So it's saying the most effective elements are consistent qualification messaging, right? So ad implementation, all ads use the phrase click below to see if you're a fit to create exclusivity. Landing page alignment. The workshop landing page prominently features book a call below to see if you're a fit with a matching button, effectiveness, impact, and then it's going to go down all the different elements, the authority, positioning, different commitment levels, the visual consistency, and then it's going to tell us the moderately effective elements. So I asked it to arrange this in order of effectiveness, not necessarily an ad by ad approach, but then we've got the ad campaign structure analysis, the audience targeting, right? So it doesn't have access to his actual targeting, but it can tell by the copy in the ads who he's actually going after. And here's the analysis of the landing page. Here's the analysis of the ad to landing page alignment. So let's see what options we have over here. So I can export this as a PDF. And here we've got the PDF summary of Hormozi's Facebook ad strategy, all created by Manus. It scraped all of his Facebook ads, or at least some of his Facebook ads. I gave it the landing pages, and it was able to analyze the landing pages against those ads as well. All right, so Manus is kind of volunteering here to create an interactive website. I wasn't planning on doing this as part of this, but let's just see what happens. So now it's saying I'll create a website to showcase the analysis of Hormozi's ads and landing pages and deploy it permanently. Let me get started on that right away. All right, so it's going to start to create a website here, and it's going to spin up a bit of a sandbox here for the terminal. And now it's going to do a separate to-do list. Okay, so this is the website structure to-do list. Let's run with this a little bit. And you know, I wasn't planning on having it create a full website from scratch, but you know, let's roll with it. All right, so here's our HTML file. So it's building out the page with the different HTML elements here. All right, so it's creating multiple files for the website. So we've got our kind of main index file. We've got an ad analysis page, a landing page, an alignment page, and then it's even creating a page here for recommendations for Alex on his ads and his landing pages. All right, so it's still updating the website. It created the CSS file, which is all the styling. Now it is onto a JavaScript file here. I'm not a coder by any stretch of the imagination, doing some JavaScript creation now. All right, so it's saying it's ready to test the website locally before deployment. And if you're wondering, I started with 3,900 credits before this task. We're down to about 35 to 3,600. All right, so it's still testing to see if we can deploy it locally. So we're on localhost. All right, let's open this up. I'm not going to actually print this live here. Oops, what did I do? All right, so it looks like Manus is actually still testing the website to make sure all of the pages work. So you can see it's actually clicking above the different menu items at the top. So you can see from its analysis, it's going to give us a tab at the top. So we've got one for the ad analysis, one for the landing page, one for the alignment, and then one for the recommendations. All right, so it's saying that it deployed the website. Let's see what happens here. All right, so here is the website that Manus spun up. All right, it's not the prettiest looking website, but let's see if it actually works. So this is a comprehensive analysis of Hormozi's Facebook strategy. We've got our executive summary. This is from the report. Key findings, okay? Consistent messaging, authority, position, tailored landing pages, and then we've got these other buttons here, right? So if we click on ad analysis, does this actually work? So it got the 49 active ads. So that is actually really impressive, okay? So it got that from right here. It's going to tell us the platforms, and I don't know if all of these ads were launched in April. That's what it's saying. So we've got the themes, okay? And we've got some elements here on the page, the bouncy elements here. Messaging consistency, core messaging strategies, visual strategy differentiation, A/B testing approach. All right, let's click into the landing pages here. So it's going to give us the URLs of the actual landing pages. And then, so here's the scaling workshop analysis and the scaling roadmap analysis for the hero section, the form, conversion elements. It created a little table for us, the key differences between landing pages. And then we've got our ad landing alignment, right? So how does the messaging from the ads align with the landing pages? So we've got our overview. We've got some nice, color elements here. Again, this is not the prettiest website I've ever seen, but it's not bad. So here's where it's kind of ranking the alignment. Again, that's how I asked it to do it in the original prompt, and it's doing it page by page here. And here are some recommendations. I don't think Alex needs help from Manus, but just in case, it's telling Alex to clarify the next steps, preview the specific benefits, enhance the social proof, and test additional visuals. That's for the ads. And then he's got some landing page tips as well. So the website, again, Manus spun this up in, maybe less than 5 minutes. It took all of the text in the report that it generated and was able to deploy this on a Manus URL, and now Manus is telling us that it's done. All right, so I can make this private, which I probably will. Here is the website, and it's going to give us kind of a breakdown here. And if we want to continue, I'm not going to make this video an hour long, but this is just the first pass. You know, we can ask it to tweak the website design and what to include and what not to include. But I think Manus did a pretty good job here. I honestly went into this not having tested this prompt whatsoever. It was able to scrape the ads from Hormozi's page here, provide us with a pretty comprehensive 7-page PDF report on the ads and the landing pages. And then it was able to spin up a website, which kind of matches the branding here with the purple colors here and the black, spin up a website that's basically taking this 7-page PDF and putting it into a more interactive format here, all with 2 prompts, right? We had the original prompt, and then, you know, the one thing that it did not do well is it was not able to get these links to the landing pages directly from the Facebook ads. That's the only time I really had to step in. But other than that, for a one-shot prompt, I think it did a good job with the analysis. I wasn't looking for a website, but I think it did a decent job with the website. But more practically speaking, you know, can Manus act as your Facebook ad competitor spy, where you provide it with URLs of your Facebook competitors and you ask it to generate a report, and maybe you even go a step deeper by providing information about your company and your messaging and ask Manus to create ads based on a competitor with your tone of voice and with your context. I think you could do a lot of things here with Manus. So again, it's still early days for Manus, but I'm definitely impressed by what it's able to accomplish with so little input from the user. All right, so if you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next.